And good morning, Sun and Fun. Well, guess what, folks? You didn't learn a darn thing last year. You're all back here. We're all back here. We're going to do it again. To make a long story short, we are at the 49th annual Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo, getting ready for the 50th next year. There's a lot of anticipation for that. But right now, the first year with Gene Conrad at the helm, the boss of bosses for now, and I'll tell you what, he's having a heck of time trying to figure out at this stage of the game how he needs to take what he's learned from 49 and push it into 50 and make the 50th annual Aerospace Expo something to behold. We're looking forward to it. We're going to have a great time with the 49th so far. We've had great weather. Organization seems to have held up very nicely in the transition, and more important than anything else, people are here to see airplanes. Yesterday, the 2023 Sun and Fun Innovation Preview debuted. It's the first time we've done anything like that here. As many of you may be aware, we've done a live new product introduction with the Aircraft Electronics Association for going on 15 years. And next month we'll be doing the 15th of them. So the first time we've done an outside setting, so forth and so on. It was a pretty extraordinary circumstance. 25 of the best innovators in aviation showed up. We were extremely pleased to see that everybody we expected showed up pretty much on time, that the news that was presented was extraordinary. I mean, we had new airplanes, new engines, new avionics, new. And the best part was people were prepared. They gave stunning presentations. They were excited about the future of aviation. And I'll tell you what, based on what we've heard from folks who were watching the innovation preview, especially journalists who got to do their entire job for the week in about 2.5 hours, it went over very well. We learned a lot from yesterday's experience from this kind of venue and these kind of settings. And we're already plotting our revenge for next year, so it should be an interesting venue by the time we get it all fixed up and ready to go for the 50th. And the 50th will be something special. We're pretty excited about it. For now, though, let's talk a little bit about the weather. We have a reasonably decent day. Mostly cloudy skies are forecast, but not too bad so far. Slight chance of a rain shower later on in the day. High of 82, winds north-northeast at 5 to 10. Now, however, keep in mind that tonight is the night air show. They're looking at partly to mostly cloudy, a low of 59 degrees, winds northeast at 10 to 15, and we'll see how that works out for the various performers. I know we've got a powered parachute team that's all lit up and does some pretty extraordinary stuff. I don't know what their wind limits are for the air show, so we'll see how that works out for them. But we're excited, to say the least, at the first big night air show of the season. There'll be another one on Saturday. As I understand that one's a little bit more pyrotechnically inclined. So it should be a great spectacle for everybody to see, but tonight should be something to remember regardless. For the moment, let's give you a few moments to take a look at how Sun and Fun comes together. In no uncertain terms, this is a massive undertaking. People come in from all over the country, and setting up this whole shebang is not for the faint of heart. Nathan, take it away. Well, guess what? We're back, but just for a moment because, folks, it's time to pay the bills. We brought a team here of almost 15 people. It takes a lot to get out here. You do not want to know what the airlines alone cost us this year. But thanks to the patronage of a lot of great companies trying to get great messaging out, we're able to bring you Sun and Fun Digital Daily, Sun and Fun Morning Brief, the Innovation Preview, Airborne, and a whole slew of other things. But for a moment, let's take a look at a little bit of crass commercial messaging.
The Aero-News Network Sun and Fun Digital Daily Morning Brief, live from Lakeland, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
Unbridled passion, unequaled performance, unlimited possibilities.
Hartzell Aviation, you are cleared for takeoff.
Introducing Hartzell Aviation, leading general aviation companies united by the Hartzell guiding principle of built on honor, a commitment to uphold the highest standards in quality, performance, and support. Hartzell Propeller, Hartzell Engine Tech, Hartzell Aerospace Welding. We are Hartzell Aviation.
Now boarding at hartzellaviation.com.
We're really looking forward to seeing you live and in person at Sun and Fun in Florida.
Now, if you can't join us in Florida, we have some great deals for you that you can take advantage of right from your home.
You can take 23% off any King Schools course from right now through April 6th. Just go to our website, kingschools.com, and use the code word FLY.
And we're back. At yesterday's Sun and Fun Innovation Preview, there were 25 companies that presented pretty exciting stuff. Possibly the most exciting announcement of all was a new engine from Rotax, and the engine hit the proverbial sweet spot. We've got Rotax's Mark Becker here to talk about the 916, the engine that everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah, Jim, good morning, thanks. You're right. I think we had a pretty nice sweet spot here on that 160 takeoff power and 137 max continuous. And for us, it was just the natural evaluation from that next step, taking it off from the 915. So from the outside, it's pretty much looking the same. You have a different color scheme, obviously, but the most dimensions are the same except for the exhaust, which means also the weight is pretty much the same. We're talking about an 11-pound difference in installation. So that's not that much, but again, getting 20 more horsepower, which we think will be just the perfect fit for most of the airplanes with a 915 already, or the next four-seaters to come.
I'd trade 11 pounds for 20 horsepower any day.
Oh, I think most people will, and that's the goal.
There are a couple things that popped up right away. You started out with a 2000 TBO. You're not working up to it. You're starting out at 2000 hour TBO. How'd you pull that off?
Well, I think it's a testament of all the experience we collected over the last decades, because usually that's, like you said, you start off with a low TBO and then you prove against the authorities and slowly work your way up. I think with the fact that it's not a revolution, it's an evolution, we always do, and we learn from that massive fleet experience of 50,000 operators out there all time. We had a pretty good baseline to convince authorities that we know what we're doing and we know how to do it to run for 2,000 plus. So that was a big step for us forward, and the authorities were just so receptive to it that we thought, well, then let's do it. I think that's a perfect sign for everybody. I think it's a testament for everybody how much we trust our product and how much we put that trust into the engines for them. So I think that's what people would like to see.
Well, the interesting thing is it is already facilitating some interesting design choices. Cub Crafters has come up with the Carbon Cub UL. They are tweaking it to the max. This is an airplane that can be sold and flown anywhere in the world because of the fact that you've got a pretty agnostic fuel system. And under the circumstances, you look at what has been developed in a short time there, and where might we be a year or two from now with these kind of power plants available, both from the standpoint of weight, both from the standpoint of overall size and dimensions, and then of course with the fact that this is modern technology, not stuff that we were flying back in World War II that's been redressed once or twice.
Yeah, you're right. I think we've always learned that aviation, things go slow, because for all the good reasons. I mean, safety being one of them, but still, it's time to take it a step ahead, and that's why with the I-Series, when we always started off with injectant and the full FADEC control, everything built into a safety system, so everything is redundant. And I think that's just the perfect set. I mean, at the end of the day, we all love the flying with it. We don't want to take care too much about what's taking it to get us airborne, but you have to have reliable products. You have to have a good airplane, you have to get good avionics, you need a proper prop, and you need a good engine. And ideally, you turn off the bottom, you go and you enjoy. And that's really the concept behind all of this, with all the technical details that pay into that.
What lessons did you learn from the 915 and its deployment in order to be ready for the 916?
Well, quite a few lessons. I think when we have a 914, which was 115 horsepower, it took us quite a while to realize, okay, will people still go that next step in that same categories? Because like you said, the categories are pretty different around the globe, so it's kind of difficult, not only for us as an engine producer, but also for all the OEMs introducing the engines into it, to hit that right spot where you're still within as many limitations of the certifications you can. So the learning for us was in the beginning, no, actually the people can take more, and if you do it smart in terms of weight and weight balance, you can still actually go higher. So the 915 was pretty much introduced or forced on us by the fact that the gyrocopters needed more power. Most of the airplanes would do okay on a two-seater. Four-seater, we had some, like the South African Sling, but that's about it. And we thought, okay, let's take that next step. Apparently there is market demand. So we learned that, okay, then let's do the 915. It took us a while. We brought it into the market, and we saw we've been overwhelmed by the requirements and a massive amount of people actually installing it. So the 916 kind of seemed like the natural next step to it, because we know always on takeoff you want more, because especially in a stall airplane like a Carbon Cub, the less the better, because that's the backcountry flying you're looking into. Same for the gyros. So having the same engine, but just with that, addressing that extra topic to it, to have that extra power and that more TBO, I think that's just the natural next step we had to take. And from the response we're seeing, apparently we were right in doing so.
Apparently. But I have to ask, you keep using this phrase, next step. What is the next step after a 916? Just between you, me, and, oh yeah, the Aeroverse out there.
Well, I think if you look at the history of where Rotax developed, and if you look at the kind of aircraft we're looking into, today some of them even already employ air conditions of some kind. You see that glass cockpits getting more and more a standard, even on a stall airplane. The natural evolution is there will be more requirement for power and electricity. And you want a more modern engine which integrates in a more modern avionics. So I guess that's kind of giving us the route of where we need to go. Is that the next engine or the next one after the next? We'll see. That's what we're working on, but we won't stop here. That's for sure.
I hope not. What's been interesting over the years, when the 912 first came on scene, and this is after those of us suffered through learning how to fly two strokes in the the 277, the 447, the 503, the 582, and I've owned a bunch of those over the years. The first small four-stroke that fit into our market was manna from heaven. But the thing that really excited us was that as we gained time with the engines, they ran, and they ran well. And over time, the little 912, the basic 912, got the same reputation as the old Continental 65. Start it up, feed it gas, it runs, period. And this is the kind of thing I've been appreciative with the Rotax series so far, is that by and large, they just run.
Yeah, and I think that's the best experience we made over that last decades, and I think that helped us to get to that point where we are. It's not that difficult to come up with an engine. It's not rocket science. There's just enough bunch of small and great engineers around the world. We all see there's great concepts, but I think the proof really lies into bring that to market, have it matured as quickly as you can, and not with the people but on your side, and make sure it stays like this. And this is always a challenge. It doesn't come for free. We all know that, but I think we've been very lucky, and apparently we did some right decisions to go to that spot where we are. And I think we can even take it a step further. And I think that right off the box 2,000-hour TBO, that's just a testament of what we're aiming at.
It's darned impressive, and we certainly appreciate seeing this kind of technology come into an industry at a time when we're on the cusp of seeing some really great developments. Airframes are starting to really utilize some new materials, some new technologies. I don't know what else we do with avionics at this point. It's extraordinary what's happened there. But it was engine technology that everybody was waiting to mature. And right now, mature engine technology has a name Rotax on it.
I'll do think so. Thank you very much. And I think there's still some more to come. So there will be exciting news, but I think we are on the right edge. I mean, look at the car and you see 20 years ago, you see that introduction of more electronics to it, a more smarter engine who knows what he's doing, who can cope with different fuels like we have. Take it AFGAS or MOGAS. We don't care. The engine will take care of it. As long as you take care of the engine will take care of you. And I think that's the natural evolution. And there's more to come. The engine can be even easier to operate. It can be even easier to communicate with the pilot, to tell him what he needs to do or what he's doing wrong or what he could do better. With that smart avionics we have now, that's just the right basis for us.
Mark Becker of Rotax, we sure appreciate you taking some time to spend a few moments with us on the Sun and Fun Morning Brief. And we will be talking next. Actually, we've got a great little package coming up on the Junkers A50 Junior, which also happens to have a Rotax at the front. And Nathan, take it away, buddy. Tell me what inspired your folks to take on such a legendary design and bring it into the 21st century.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you can see, the A50 Junior has arrived to the United States. Today at the event, we announced the FAA SLSA acceptance of the A50. This one behind us actually will be the first delivery in the U.S., and the rest will follow starting this fall. As a classic aircraft manufacturer, being Waco, based in Battle Creek, Michigan, we're really about producing quality aircraft that are works of art and a classic historic design. Something that really just stands out, that you feel like you really must have, and it's going to, just change your perspective on life and offer a unique adventure every time you pull it out of the hangar. And on rainy days, you can pull up a lawn chair in the hangar and just stare at it, and it's beautiful. Naturally, to bring in a new aircraft, looking at LSA market as one of the fastest growing segments within aviation, the A50 Junior ultimately, back in 1929, was a light aircraft before light aircraft existed. With an original maximum takeoff weight of 1,320 pounds, it was a perfect fit. It's a great pair to the Waco YMF-5 and the Great Lakes biplanes that we produce. So right alongside the production of those, like I said, in Battle Creek, Michigan, will be home for the A50 Junior.
When will we see these coming off the line in numbers?
You're going to see the first ones built in Battle Creek starting this late summer, early fall timeline.
First question everybody's going to ultimately ask, how much?
They start at $199.5 here in the U.S.
What are the numbers somebody can expect out of operating this aircraft?
You're going to cruise right around 90 miles an hour. It's still a very low and slow airplane, just like it would be in the Waco and Great Lakes. little bit slower, but you definitely have the more reliability with the Rotax 912 IS2 up front.
Well, there's only one thing left to do. Let's go fly this thing.
Sounds good.
And we're back. We are in the Compass Rose, the center of all things Sun and Fun. The former admin building is behind us. That's where Aero-News and Sun and Fun Digital Daily headquarters are for the week, and we're having a ball working out of there, especially considering the fact that Light's office used to be across the hall, and a lot of history was made there. Speaking of history, the annual air show scenario here for Sun and Fun has changed dramatically in that it's now all under the command of Dennis Dunbar, who of course was working Oshkosh for many years and so forth, and he's bringing all that northbound talent down here. 1:30 to 5:30 today, the air shows start again. They've got everything from the SOCOM Paracommandos, Rob Holland, Doug Rosendahl, Mr. Mulligan, Patty Wagstaff, Lee Lauterbach. We've got Larry Kelly and Panchito, the B-25. Spent some time in that baby. That's a fun airplane. There's Racers Jet Team, Greg Kuntz, Kevin Coleman, Jim Peets. Kyle Franklin is back with the Piper Cub, Michael Goulian, and an extra. There's a lot happening. That's just a tip of the iceberg here. But keep in mind, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, amazing things happen, and at night we get kind of foolish. And from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., we're having a night air show. That starts off with the national anthem, an F-35A demo, with the Black Fly will fly, Aeroshell Aerobatic Team, Jerry Kirby in the RV-8, and he has mastered that puppy. Kyle Fowler in the Long Easy, Redline Air Shows, Nathan Hammond in the de Havilland Chipmunk, one of the greatest airplanes of all time, and the Pyro Musical. One of the things you may not be aware of, I have a wife that has a real fascination with fireworks. She is going to have a fun time tonight. She's really looking forward to all of that. Now, there's a couple of things on the forum schedule I thought were kind of cool, and I wanted to bring those up as well. If you're interested in all things seaplanes, the Ultimate Outdoor Adventure Flying Seaplane, Steve McCauley of the Seaplane Pilots Association is presenting in CFAA 16 at 10 a.m. Following that, the Piper Cub, Cubs and Tailwheel Maintenance at CFAA 10 is presented by A&P John Hoffman at 12 noon. And finally, something we all kind of would wish we had this kind of problem to deal with, buying your first jet and the mistakes to avoid. Something I don't think I have to worry about this year. A problem we all someday hope to have, but the forum, in case you do, is scheduled for noon in CFAA 009er. That's about it for today's morning brief. There's an awful lot happening throughout the day. Be sure to check Airborne tonight, airbornetv.net, of course, Aero-News, and SNFDD.com. All presented by the hardest working staff in aviation journalism. The video group is headed by Nathan Cremasino. Annie Byer is here behind the camera, scowling at me as usual and just giving me all kinds of attitude. Yeah, finally got a smile out of her for that one. And just amazing people around us. There's a better part of 15 folks, and they are working their hearts out to make sure that you get great stories, great imagery, great sounds, all from the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo. Till tomorrow, it's been a good morning at Sun and Fun, and we will see you at 0900 tomorrow with the Sun and Fun Morning Brief. Bye.
The Aero-News Network Sun and Fun Digital Daily Morning Brief, live from Lakeland, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
It's toxic to fly hypoxic. Smart pilots want their oxygen close at hand, so they're never impaired. That's why Aerox is proud to introduce the Boomula, the first headset-mounted oxygen-conserving cannula designed to make hypoxia impairment obsolete. The Boomula easily attaches to any headset and can be used with almost any portable or installed oxygen system. Find the Boomula at leading Aerox distributors or at aerox.com.
Unbridled passion, unequaled performance, unlimited possibilities.
Hartzell Aviation, you are cleared for takeoff.
Introducing Hartzell Aviation, leading general aviation companies united by the Hartzell guiding principle of built on honor, a commitment to uphold the highest standards in quality, performance, and support. Hartzell Propeller, Hartzell Engine Tech, Hartzell Aerospace Welding. We are Hartzell Aviation.
Now boarding at hartzellaviation.com.
We're really looking forward to seeing you live and in person at Sun and Fun in Florida.
Now, if you can't join us in Florida, we have some great deals for you that you can take advantage of right from your home.
You can take 23% off any King Schools course from right now through April 6th. Just go to our website, kingschools.com, and use the code word FLY.
Vantage is Avidyne's family of all-new flight display systems for retrofit and forward-fit applications. Initial certification will be Vantage 12, retrofit glass for legacy Cirrus aircraft. Vantage 12 brings advanced capabilities and adds new life to Cirrus aircraft, including large 12-inch diagonal hybrid touchscreen displays, 3D synthetic vision, and split-screen capabilities. Additional Vantage programs will be announced in the future.
Calculating carbon monoxide.